right, y'all. I'm going to share this. I didn't put on any more makeup after church, so this is what it is, y'all. This is what it looked like without the filter. Y'all pray, right? Let me share this, and then we're going to be ready to lean with it and rock with it. Okay, so I'm going to do my budget update live tonight. Oh, let me mute myself before I have all kinds of feedback. Okay, so I'm going to do my budget update live tonight. Oh, let me come on. Mute myself. There we go. I'm going to mute myself. That way I don't have all kinds of live feedback. But I'm going to get this shared on my One Mom Facebook. And then we're going, hey, Kim. Hey, friend. There we go. Okay. Then we're going, hey, ma'am. Hey, how's everybody? Thank y'all for joining me. I can't share the live feed until it goes live. So I'm just going to share it in one place. So praise the Lord. Ooh. It's been a long day, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, goodness. I just messed up something. Y'all pray for me. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Okay, perfect. All right. I got this shared. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining in. So a couple of things to update you guys on. Hey, Miss Celeste. Good to see everybody. I'm glad you're here. So glad you're here. Glad to see you here. Gonna have a good time. All right. From Mississippi, Ohio. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Swiss Miss. Good to see everybody. Okay. Let's not belabor the point, right? Some of my least favorite YouTubers are dragging on for 3 hours. And you like, is you ever going to get to the point at all? Because I came here for the point, right? So I did not get a chance for some reason. And probably because I have a ton of videos in the queue that I need to film. My budget videos, my budget updates are just not, they're not getting prioritized right now. So it's better for me to do it this way. I think you can still get the numbers if you're here for it. And it's just easier for me to do it like this. So I have three budget updates to talk about. I have YouTube, which is my AdSense income. I have a final child support. Hey, Tiff. Hey, Andrea. A final child support, and then Facebook. So I do want to say, hey, ma'am, how are you? Good to see everybody. Good to see you guys from Georgia and Australia. It always blows my mind when people over the pond are watching. I'm like, hey, y'all, hey, how's everybody doing? So, yeah, so one of the things that has been helping us for new folks, if you're new around here, the kids and I started a budgeting journey about 13 years ago, 12 years now, because Jackson's 13. Jackson was about a year old when we started. And we started the zero-based budgeting program. And what that meant is every dollar that comes into our home has a name, and it also has a job. We tell it what to do. Well, when we first started budgeting, all I had was my income. I didn't have child support. I didn't have any extra income. I wasn't even on YouTube at that time, because I've only been on YouTube 8 years, right? I wasn't on YouTube at that time. I didn't have a side job at all. I had nothing except my income. And then we were down to one income family because my ex had already left by then. And so we were trying to figure it all out and make the things happen. Now, oh, that's awesome. Very good. Playing the oboe. Oh, my goodness. Well, very good. I'm loving all of that. So here I am, a single mom. I think Trandon was about 13. Alana was about 5. And Jackson was just born, you know, well, he's about a year old. So maybe 14, 6, and a year old. And it was like, oh, how am I going to do all of this? So I struggled through for a little while, right? I did all the budgeting things, but I never had actual overage of income to pay towards debt. And that was a hard sell for me because this program is supposed to work, meaning I'm supposed to have extra money somewhere and I can't figure it out. So the kids and I started couponing. I say the kids and I always include my kids. I've recently been doing reels, right, over on Facebook, and I post some of them. I mean, it's the truth, God knows. So I had posted something over here, over there, and I say we a lot. And that bothers people because they don't see anybody else sometimes on the reels except me. So let me explain that. More than likely, when I say we, I am talking about myself and the children. Somebody's got to film, right? So one of the kids, usually Jackson, is behind the camera. Jackson just does well with the videography and all that kind of stuff. He's got good ideas and everything. So if you see a fancy video, Jackson has done it. That's a tick, y'all. That's not, I'm not sleepy or tired. That's a tick. Whenever I'm in front of my camera, see, when I do regular videos, I can edit all that stuff out. Y'all pray for me. And sister is normally hiding from the videos. She does not enjoy videos at all. It's just not her fave. It's just not her area. She'll be in some things, but she's not a camera person. So when I say we, I'm referring to those who were in the household at the time, because that seems to bother. I wish we could see this we she keep talking about. Well, if you follow along a little bit, you might see somebody. I digress. So we didn't have any extra income, and I was like, Lord, this has got to work. So the first thing God told me to do was coupon, right? Because the only money that I could manage, the only money that I could make do something stretch, right, was my grocery budget. And so if I could manage to save 50 to 75 to 85% of my regular grocery budget, that extra money could then be funneled towards debt. And then he said, when you get any extra money that comes in, taxes, any blessings, any of that, put it towards your debt. And so we did that. And slowly but surely, Andrea said she started watching in 2016. I started on YouTube in 2014. She started in 2016. She said she's watched us come a long way. And that's the truth. If you started in 2014 and you've been with me that long, you know how far we've come. And I look at some things sometimes and I go, Shakema, are you really being true to yourself? Is this really who you are? And the answer to that is this. I am who I am, but this is me in a different situation. This is the Shakema who is not drowning in debt. This is the Shakema whose money does not tell her where to go. I tell my money where to go. This is the Shakema that can afford to buy something if I need it or if I want it. As far as, you know, a little something for myself, getting my nails done, would have never happened. Would have never happened. Never. Oh, wow, Kathy. Oh, wow. That's awesome. But it never would have happened because I didn't have the extra money. So now this is truly me, but it's the me in a different, this is me in what coming out of the situation or circumstance looks like. So how do you know you've made it? Go and look at yourself then and see where you are now. Maybe you've made it through this situation. It's just this little bit, but you should be different than you were when you started, right? So I never want to appear to be something that I'm not. I never want to appear to be more than I am. I never want to appear to be more than anybody because I'm not. I know what it's like to be, struggling, trying to feed your family and trying to make the bills meet. Many people said, if I was you, I wouldn't pay all my tax money to debt, but I don't want to carry the debt, right? So in this debt-free journey, you're going to have to give something to get something. I'm going to have to give up this, what I feel like is a windfall, a blessing, my tax return, whatever, my earned income credit, whatever you got, so that I am going to get out of debt. Then when you get that next windfall, tax return, whatever it is, that money does not have to go anywhere. Nowhere does that money have to go because you've already paid off all the debt. So in a 10-year period, I would say the Lord helped us to get debt-free, 100% debt-free. We owe not a soul, with the exception of our home. And that's the next thing on the list. Start 2023, we're going to start paying some extra on the principal because I'm not going to have a 30-year mortgage. If I have a 30-year mortgage, I'll be in my 70s by the time I pay this house off. Not gonna have. I'll be 71 years old. No, that's not God's plan for me to use all of my resources and to use my body up and myself up for the rest of my life. He wants me to have a mind to think of things to do, right? So fast forward all this long, and now we have several sources of income that we did not have before. Our main source of income for years was YouTube. Every video you watch, every time you like, every subscribe, every share, every unlike, whatever you do, helps us some type of way. The likes, so if you could like this video for me, that would help me. And I feel bad saying that because I want you to like the video because you like it, not because I asked you to like it. But as the videos get liked, it pushes them out into the algorithm, right? So more people get to see it. And they're like, we don't know how we found your video. There's so many people I've just recently found. I'm like, where have you been? But there are millions of people on YouTube. You're not going to see everybody. But the more likes and shares and all the things that happen pushes you out into the algorithm, which is where I've met a lot of you from because you weren't with us in the beginning. Oh, thank you so much. It just helps us. If you don't like the video, please don't feel any type of way about sharing that. But YouTube was our main source of income. Shortly after getting on YouTube, I went to court and we got a court order for child support. So that was another, so it's not income, but it is a means to help take care of the children and their needs. For a long time, I was paying Taekwondo. We was traveling on the travel team. Both of the kids were traveling Taekwondo team, and we just had all the things. So a lot of that money was going towards their activities, plus some in their savings, and groceries. And just recently, December will actually be 1 year since we were invited into the paid program at Facebook for Reels. Now, a lot of you follow me here. A lot of you follow us on Instagram. We are not in the Instagram program, paid program. They have not invited us. But we have been invited into the Facebook program. And we actually got in on that when it was new, right? When it was just freshly rolling out. They were just getting their, getting it going. Instagram was doing all the things. But Facebook was not. And I was just putting out reels, the Lord said. And I was like, okay, God, let me do this. And then they invited us into the program. So that just helped us out. And what has actually ended up happening is now we do, our main source of income is Facebook, or our largest, let me restate that. Our largest source of income now is Facebook because the reels are doing very well. So far this month, in my cycle starts on the 17th. So from the 17th of November until the 27th, 10 days, we've almost had 4 million plays on Facebook, which is amazing. We just had 1.2 million plays in the last cycle of YouTube. And for months, my YouTube income was going down, 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 down. I didn't know why. I couldn't figure it out. I was still posting, but I couldn't figure out why the YouTube income was going down, but the Facebook income was going up. So it almost made it equaled out, right? So we have Facebook, we have YouTube, and and then child support that comes in now for Jackson. So those are things outside of my paycheck that come in. So about midway the month, the 22nd, 3rd, somewhere in there. Hey, how are you, Miss Sandra? Good to see y'all. I get YouTube. I got one final child support, and then we got our Facebook income. So I wanted to jump in and just kind of chat that a little bit. Now, our YouTube income was $704.15. Now, we have done way more than that. We've done way less than that. Like I said, we were still in that cycle of decrease. Every month it was going down. Every month it was going down. It's like, okay, what is going on? Well, I wasn't posting videos every single day because you have to edit, right? And it's just me editing. So I'm filming, I'm editing, I'm putting it all together. I'm doing Facebook, I'm doing Instagram, like I'm doing a lot of stuff. And it's just me. So that income was going down. But we were thankful. In all things, be thankful. I just heard someone say that, and I live this principle. In all things, be thankful. Whether you make $1 zillion or whether you only got what you got. In all things, be thankful. So, $704.15, and this is how we broke it down. Never happens when I'm preaching. That's all I gotta say. Hey, ma'am. Hey, oh my goodness. Hello. number one fan here. I know somebody else would dispute that, but let me just say I'm your number one fan, all the things. Okay, so $71 went to tithe. So everybody who has joined us know it is a part of my religious conviction and belief, not my condemnation, my religious conviction and belief to tithe off of every dollar that comes in our home. Malachi 3, 8, 9, and 10 says, bring ye all the tithe into the storehouse, that there might be food in my house, says the Lord of hosts. And try me now in this, see if I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing you cannot receive. So what I do is I believe that, and God has shown himself true to me. And what I do is I just give God his 10%. I don't even play with it. We don't even play with that. Straight off the top. Anything else is an offering, and we do give plenty of offerings. So the Lord said to me, let me just, because I got to preach, right? Y'all already know I got to preach. So the Lord said to me in November, this was specifically for the month of November. He said, you are in a season of sowing. This is a season of sowing, right? And most people think a season is 3 or 4 months. A season could be 3 weeks. It could be 3 days. Whatever the season time frame is, God said the month of November was a season of sowing for me. And people would say, hey, I need this. So I would hear a need, and I would sow it. And I'm like, God, but I'm really trying to work on this baby step 3 to 6 months. What's going on? Why? He said it's a season of sowing. So I just got on board with that. So what I saw, my income came in $704.15. $71 went to tithe. Now my taxes, and I actually learned this from Kimmy at She's in Her Apron. I heard her say this years ago. This, I think they were not in the house they're in now. This was probably the last house, maybe. It was years ago. But she said Derek takes out a certain amount. Well, they take out a certain amount for taxes, right? Because YouTube doesn't do taxes on you. You get a 1099 at the end of the year, and you have to file your own taxes. And I think, whatever her number was, she was saying. So I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. Praise the Lord. I'm going to take that little bit of information. So I save about 15% out of every YouTube that comes in, and put that in a sinking fund. That's in my 3 to 6, that's in my Capital One 360 fund, right? I don't have any money that comes into my hand. Everything that comes into my bank as a direct deposit then funnels out to the Capital One 360 or my regular at-home bank, whichever one. So 106 went to taxes, and we've been saving every single month. Last year I had to pay back quite a lot of taxes, but I had the money up front. Again, that principle that I learned from somebody else on YouTube. It was not Shakema, and nobody in my area, my sphere, knew to advise me that, right? So here's a tip for you. If there's something that you don't know and somebody that you watch shares it, pick that up, use it for yourself, because it's only going to help you on the back end. So when I do my taxes for this next year, oh, perfect. See, I missed that. I missed that number. I was like, I know she said something, but I couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, so I'm going to, put that to the side. 15% was my number. Next year it may increase to something else, whatever the Lord tells me and leads me. But if you don't have people in your life that can advise you in an area, please don't remain ignorant. The Bible says, in all you're getting, get understanding. Go to somebody that can tell you or hear or pick up a nugget and use that for your life. There's nothing wrong with, I'm seeing the comments come on there now, but before now, she didn't even know who I was. But I still picked up that tip. Thank the Lord for that tip. And it was a good one, because it's helped me when I had to pay my taxes last year. And the little, the tax man, he was so upset with himself and knowing that I had to pay. And I left. It shocked me, because I had never had to pay taxes before in that amount. But I left that bank, because my credit union did my taxes. I left that bank with my paperwork in hand, with my check attached. With the thing attached, knowing that I had to pay that. I went right to my house. I did a transfer into my checking account. I wrote a check, and I sent it on about this business. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. I will look into that. And it was like, oh, perfect. And then there was still money left over in that account. And I was like, oh my God, well, praise the Lord. This is beautiful, right? And so we just let it ride, right? It's riding. So next year, and just that little bit of information, LLC or S Corporation. So guess what I'm going to be doing in 23? Looking it up. Well, I'm going to be doing it before 23, because I need to make sure that we're doing the best we know how. And we didn't know that. That's something we picked up from somebody else. Never be ashamed. Never be too proud to pick up a tip from somebody, because somebody knows just a little bit more than you and is going to help you on the back end. So, okay, I digress yet again. Okay, 71 for tithe, 106 for taxes. $13 goes towards my Amazon Prime. So remember, I never had done sinking funds before. Before I was out of debt. Oh, perfect. I'm going to definitely look that up and get a friend of mine to help me with that, because I need to save around here. I'm trying to build legacy around here and leave my kids something when I go. I'm not trying to have them paying stuff when I'm gone. What was I saying? I was saying something. It was a good thought too. Oh, I never had done sinking funds before I had paid off all my debt, because there was no extra money. So after I got the debt paid off, the Lord said, Shakema, now take your YouTube money and do your sinking funds. And I think I started off with like 4 or 5 sinking funds. I think I have about 13 sinking funds now. I may have a few more than that. So this is how I fund sinking funds. And remember, the other thing as well, this past month, Alana went to have her, they went for their checkup. They go every 6 months. Well, when they did the panoramic x-ray, they saw her wisdom teeth, instead of growing in like this, her wisdom teeth are growing in like this on the top and the bottom. So all 4 of those have to come out. That was an $1,800 expense, $1,724 and some change, right? May as well round it up to all the people who need rounding. $1,800. So whatever was left from YouTube, now I have to figure out how to put that in for Alana. Although we came up with an agreement. She's 18 years old. I technically do not have to pay anything for her. But I said, this is her first large bill. I'm not going to tax my daughter like that. She's not prepared for that. I mean, she has savings. We have done savings for her. But this is her first large bill. She's on my, and that's with insurance. That is with insurance, $1,742.35, I think, down to the penny. So I said to her, I'll give you half. You save half, I'll save half, right? Just helping her to navigate money. And she's actually doing her budgets. Y'all, she's been doing her budgets very religiously for the last several months. And she on that budget. She not playing with her money. She's like, Mom, I got to get my budget done. Perfect. So I have to figure out how to add that in. So what I did was, all my sinking funds, $13 Amazon Prime, $16 is for my recycling. We pay for recycling by the year. So I start saving. We just did our recycling. I think it was in the summer, July. So now we're starting again, that cycle again, $16. $12 is for my yearly spray. Once a year, I have the termite inspection done, all that. And they come out. Absolutely. And we did have that, but I think I had to end up paying for something else for one of the kids. It was another health thing. It was teeth, I think. Jackson had something done. Alana had another bill because her doctor actually went out of network. They didn't tell us that, so they charged her. So I used my Flex card to pay for that and decided to save the cash for her teeth. So, and I only put a certain amount on the Flex card because we normally don't go to the doctor. So I didn't have that much, on the card. I mean, I had enough, but it wasn't a ton. We didn't max the card out because we normally don't use it. And if you don't use it in North Carolina, you lose it. So, okay, $50. Now we're going on family vacation around the Christmas holiday-ish time, somewhere in there. The kids and I are going on a little bit of an excursion. And I wanted to make sure that I could pay for a meal out, maybe a little fun thing that we could do. So I saved up enough to pay for the vacation, totally paid for, 500 plus some odd dollars, all paid for. Now I'm still saving sinking fund because I want to be able, like I said, to pay for a meal. Not here, not in my county. In my county, you cannot roll over. There's no rollover. You either use it or you lose it. Now, I'm not sure where you are or what Flex account you have, but the FSA, we cannot roll it. You either use it and they'll tell you. They send us a letter right at the last month of our time frame because we have to re-enroll every year. It's the same way with child care. If you get the child care card, if you don't use it, that money is gone. So I'm not sure if we are talking about the same account, but I know here in the county that I teach in, there's no rollover. Or I would put more money on it. They don't do it here. So I wanted to be able to have enough money to buy a meal one meal out at least, because we're going to go and do a B&B situation, and we're going to take some food, but I wanted to be able to pay. See, y'all got to understand, right? Okay, back to preaching again. I've never been able to take my kids and do things where I paid for everything. Normally with my older kids, I would say, hey, can you do a little bit here? Or will you do a little bit here? Or they would say, Mom, we got the food. Or Mom, we're going to pay for a night here. This time, it was 100% Mom. I was able to do it all. But I had to save, right? I had to just do it every month. And I had to save a little bit here and a little bit there. When I got some extra money, I just said, hey, put it to this because this was important to me. So for that, $50 for vacation. My tires went out on me a couple months back, and I did not have a tire fund. And that was like 200 and some odd, almost $300. So I said, you won't catch me outside again. I'm going to put some money in. So I do $18 a month for my tires. That's in a fund over 24 months. Should be enough to get me a new set of tires within a 24-month period. My drive time is less. My distance is less since I moved to the other job, not the other job, but the other position, right? I moved to the north end instead of the south end. So I'm saving a ton of driving. I literally can take my son to school, and I'm at my school in the next 2 minutes, right? That's at one school, and I'm there twice a week. My farthest drive is about 25 minutes. My farthest drive before was about 47 minutes. From my front door to that school was 47 minutes. It was like 48 or 50 miles round trip. Probably that was to my office. It was 50 miles round trip to my office, and that was the shortest distance. So going to that other place was long. So I'm saving on my driving, but I still have to make arrangements for tires. So $18 there. $85 is car insurance. $40 is for ma'am. Ma'am gets her own sinking fund. Now let me just talk a little bit about ma'am, right? Because I just bought food. She had to go to the vet to get her nails done because she will not go to the groomers. Ma'am isn't. She is a nervous dog when she is with people that she doesn't like the vet. She doesn't like the groomer. She likes us just fine. She might not like you just fine. So I don't stress her out. But I had to get her nails done. That was $32. I had to buy food. Shamika and I swap alternating months for food. I have her dog, so she does food 1 month. I have my dog, I do food 1 month, and that's how we do it. She orders from Chewy. It comes to my house. I just go to a little pet store up the street. I buy it and bring it here. So that was 2 large expenses out of her account. She also had her yearly vet visit this year, which was a couple $100. So her account was a little bit low. It wasn't terrible. It was a little bit low. But if you've been on my community tab, you did see that the kids were out walking this morning with the dogs. We walk them every morning. No problem. We're on out getting ready for church. I'm sitting in here getting myself ready for church. The kids take the dogs out. Right before I jump in the shower, Alana runs in. She's all frantic and freaked out, panicked and freaked out. She says, Mom, a dog attacked ma'am. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what in the world? So she said they were walking and a dog came out of his house and he just attacked my dog. Well, we looked her over. We didn't see anything at the time. She was a little bit shaky. She wouldn't put that back paw down. And so I was like, okay, she's going to be okay. That we didn't see any blood. We didn't see anything that was weird. So we said, okay, fine, no problem. We left and went to church, came home. Well, let me just say this, right? Okay. This is a budget video, but I'm going to educate some people right now. Even if you live in a place that has no leash law, leash your dog. Dogs are meant to protect, and if they feel like they're going to be approached or their territory, right, is going to be approached, they're going to protect. Now, my dogs did not go onto their territory. In front of my house where I live in a neighborhood, we have a sidewalk on the side of the street that I live on. So the kids can walk down the sidewalk, no problem. Well, ma'am brings her dog outside. She's like, well, I was just trying to go to get the dog in the car. From your front porch to your car, my dog got bit twice. Please put your dog on a leash. So when the kids came in and told me that, I said, okay, where first of all, I was like, maybe I should just leave it. Don't say anything, Shakema. It's going to be fine. It's just accidents happen. And the Holy Spirit was like, no, you're going to go down there. I had to protect my kids. So I go down and I find the house. It's just down from us. I ring the bell. There are cars outside. Cars outside. Nobody will answer. So the truck that the lady was driving in was not there. Well, while I'm ringing the bell, because you're going to answer me. Oh, I'm staying right here until somebody answers this door because we're going to have a chat today. She drives back up. She gets out of her car. And of course, I walk down and I said, are you responsible for the dog that attacked my dog? And she starts talking. Oh, buddy, she was going in, going in, going in. She want to tell me what she does for a living. She wants to tell me all of the, ma'am, that is not the essence of this conversation. What I'm asking you to be is a responsible pet owner. Because here's the thing. I love my dog. We love Ma'am. We got her 6 years ago. She's been a blessing to our family. However, that could have been my kid. What if the kids were just walking down the street without the dogs and your dog just ran off leash, right? Or your dog just ran because it wasn't on leash. That could have been Alana bit twice. She's like, yeah, I know my son's been bit. That's your son. That's not my kid. That's your responsibility as his parent to take care. So I'm not going to share that burden with you. That could have been my child. I could have been calling the ER. I said, ma'am, you didn't even walk my kids back down to the house when you saw them in a panic to even say to me, ma'am, hey, my dog got loose, bit your dog, or whatever. She didn't even soothe my child. And of course, when you go out there and approach people, they think you're trying to be the, aggressive person, or you being the, and it wasn't anything like that. She's like, well, I'm a kindergarten teacher. I teach school too. And your point, right? Don't come to me with your qualifications. I want to know why your dog is not on leash. And I'm getting to why I'm adding this in. So I said to her, I said, ma'am, if your dog is caught off leash again, I'm going to file a report. I'm calling the law on you because this dog is dangerous. So we go to church. We come back home. I'm sitting here about to do some work. And Alana says, oh my God, Mom, come in here. I walk in the living room. Ma'am has in her, what would be her thigh area on the inside of her right back leg, a gash, a huge gash. And then she has a gash on her shoulder. So I'm thinking, okay, God, and it's oozing a little. It didn't bleed any time during the day because we didn't find any blood in here. I was like, okay, what do I do? So I call the emergency vet. We end up at the emergency vet. Ma'am doesn't have all the money she needs for this emergency vet visit. So $464.60 later is how much it cost me because some irresponsible pet owner did not have their dog on leash. Please keep your dogs on leash. Now, we have one lady. She lives like one house over and across the street from me. Her dogs have been in the front yard off leash before, and those dogs have never strayed out. I don't know if she has invisible fence or something, but they have never strayed. But we have Germans across the street. They will approach my dogs. We have another neighbor, is a real good neighbor friend of mine. He has a little French bulldog. That dog will come into my yard. We have one neighbor that just lets their dog get out. They don't even care. They're like, oh, he'll come back home eventually. He's coming to our yard. And we don't bother anybody. We keep our dogs on leash because we know that dogs can be aggressive towards each other. Acro is not right in the head. He was abused as a dog, as a puppy or whatever. Shamika got him as a foster. She adopted him, and he's still traumatized. And he's been with us for like the last 4 years. He's still traumatized. So what I had to do was I had to take monies out of my 3 to 6 months emergency fund. I didn't have anywhere else to take it because her fund was so low. The $40 I put in the sinking fund was not going to pay for her visit today. That was blood work. Just the visit itself was $140. The blood work was $100. They had to give her a pain injection, and she came home with 3 prescriptions for infection, blah, blah, blah. My dog is up on their shots. I don't even know if your dog go to the vet. So again, be responsible because it's costing me out of my pocket. But I'm thankful that I had sinking funds, and I'm thankful that I did have some money in the savings. So if you haven't picked up anything from me over this whole time, please, please, please listen to Shakema. Get your debt paid so that you can put some things aside, because you never know when something is going to happen. I didn't wake up this morning planning to spend $500 on a dog. I didn't, but I was thankful it wasn't $1,000 or more because it was one of my kids. Okay. So ma'am got $40. I'm actually going to have to go see what's in her account that I can now shift back over to my savings account, because I did have to pull that money out of my savings. $11 is for PureFlix, which is like the Christian version of Netflix. $7 is for my car registration. So registration and taxes is all the things that you never think about that are going to cost you something in the year. For those of you who are thinking about sinking funds, right? I was meeting with a lady, because I do, out of the goodness and kindness of my heart, meet with people, right? I don't charge them to meet them. Oh, in the morning, don't worry. In the morning, as soon as the morning daylight get here, and I see that truck out there outside of the house. Oh, yes, ma'am. I had them print out 2 copies because, ma'am, listen, she has 3 staples in her bottom leg. She has some staples up here, and she has to wear the cone of shame for 2 weeks. She just don't love it, and I don't love it, and she's in pain. I can't get her to eat. I can't get her to drink. Right now, she's just so out of it. I can't get her to do anything, and I got to give her medication. So at first, yes, indeed, we going down there. And if I do not get my money, you going to court, ma'am. I'm sorry. I hate that for you and your life. Right here at Christmas. But I didn't have it either. That's not true. I did have it, but I didn't have it for that purpose. That was not the purpose of it. So she is not in the best of ways right now. So I was meeting with a lady a couple weeks ago. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, they're just like little humans. If you have a pet, you need to have a fund for that pet. So when we were meeting, she was like, "Oh yeah, I just did my budget. I'm gonna have all this money left over." And so I'm looking, I said, "Do you plan to eat?" She's like, "Oh yeah. I don't see any grocery money on here. You plan to do this?" "Oh yeah." That's not on there either. I said, you have got to put every little thing on this paper that you think. She got attacked this morning on a walk, and she had to go and get some emergency care at the emergency vet visit. She's got some puncture wounds, a couple puncture wounds. Now she's got some staples in there. People just don't do right, and it costs you, right? It costs you something. So I was meeting with that lady, and I said, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? Write down every conceivable thing that you're going to have. And by the time we got done, what about thising? She was in the hole $1,200. Ma'am, you don't think you have all this money, because you don't. I've got all this stuff that's going to come due, and I may not be able to pull a lump sum. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's a blessing. I appreciate that. Indeed, because that was a chunk. That thing hurt my feelings this morning. I was like, what? Oh my God. Bless you so much. That was a blessing. I didn't share that for that reason. I shared that because you just don't know when things are going to be necessary. If I didn't have the sinking fund, I would not have been able to take the dog, or I would have had to borrow it from my sister. Right? I don't want to have to always borrow money. So I'm going to take what I have and I'm going to allocate it, even if it means I don't see anything for myself. Give every dollar a name and every dollar a job. So PureFlix car registration, my pest control, I do have to call tomorrow every 3 months. I have it's my house sprayed around the perimeter. They'll come in if I want them to spray. Now that it's getting cold, you know, bugs and stuff. Thank you, Miss Celeste. Absolutely. 10-fold, 100-fold. Bugs that want to come in, you know, we don't generally have bug problems around here because we spray every 3rd month. I probably could do it myself, but again, that's not one of the things that I just don't have the time. It's $80 to get them to come out and spray every 3 months. I just save up the sinking fund. $20 for my oil change. Y'all be very careful when you go to oil places. I normally go to the dealership. They could not get me in for a whole month. And by the time I would go wait a month, my 10,000 miles was already up, right? So in my Toyota Camry 2013, I can go 10,000 miles instead of 5,000. So I know people's like, no, you're supposed to get your oil change every 5,000. On the model car that I have, it's every 10,000 miles. So I went to one of those drive-in places, and when I tell you that man quoted me a price after they changed the oil, after though, he was like 104. I was like, what did you do? Wait, did you have to go drill the oil? I've never in my life paid $104 for an oil change. But I guess when I think about it, over 10,000 miles is not that much. And I need to have the best oil in my car because I do have 120,000 miles. A Toyota, you can drive to 450, 500,000 miles. You can, as long as you keep your maintenance up. And I keep my maintenance up on my car. But that price just took me to a place. But I had been saving money in that oil change fund. And I had one more free oil change at Toyota. But again, they couldn't get me in. So I had to pay for it. And I would not have had that just in my regular paycheck. So it was... I guess it was, when I looked on the thing, because this was a place I had never been to before, and I was like, down. Oh my God. I'm like, what did you drill it? Where's the hole? Because I just need to understand. But like I said, I paid it, and I need to make sure that I have what I need for my car, for my children, for my family. I'm a single mom. I'm driving my kids this place and that. I'm driving in the day. I'm driving at night. I just need to make sure that we are secure. So looking back at it, would I have wanted to pay that price? Absolutely not. But I have been saving that sinking fund every month, and so there was money there, and I was thankful for that. $50 is for my house repairs. So the last thing we had done in the house, we actually had the plumbers out. We had 2 toilets that were running. My toilet, I knew was acting a little weird. And then the one in the kids' bathroom was kind of doing the same. Well, the water company called me, that was the Lord. They called me a couple weeks ago, and they said, we're looking at your water bill. It was about $50 more than normal. They said, we think you probably have a leak somewhere, probably a runny toilet. And it had been doing that for a while. And this was the second month in a row that bill was going to be about $50 more. So I was like, you know what? I have money in this. Hey, how are you? I have money in this fund. I'm going to call the people. So the plumbers came out. He looked at everything. He gave me an estimate over the phone. Yes, ma'am, I'm on Instagram. It's my name, though. Shakema_Wilson is my... Somebody can put that in there, one of my people, if you could. I am on Instagram and Facebook under the same name. I used to be this name, but I changed it in those 2 locations. Oh, okay. Well, I have 122,000, which I got my car right at 60,000, right? Y'all were here with watching me get that car right before everything kind of hit the fan and all the stuff. So I got that car, so it worked out well for me. But so I had to deplete my household repair fund to get both the toilets fixed, but they're fixed now. So prayerfully, the water bill will level out after that last cycle. And I was so thankful. Thank you, Miss Celeste. I was so thankful that the water company even called me. They didn't have to, but they were very nice enough to call me to say, hey, we think you have a leak. So I used that money, depleted that fund to pay for those toilets to get done. The only thing I was saving for was a new dishwasher, which we are going to have to replace the dishwasher again. But that is not a press right now. We've been hand washing dishes, and the Lord is still pleased, and we moving on with our life. If you don't mind liking the video, that would be helpful. If you like the video, don't like it if you don't like it, but if it's helpful, like it. Just helps push us out in the algorithm. So $50 for that, $16 for my P.O. box. I actually have been getting a few things in the P.O. box the last little bit, so I do appreciate everybody that sent me something. I know one of my lovely Chantel, I believe, sent me 2 things, and then Miss Barb sent me something, and then, oh goodness, another lady sent me something. Thank you so much. I try to respond with the thank yous, cute little things I appreciate. And then I, of course, get my Nadine West bags come there, and any other reviews and stuff. I do have several review videos coming up, so be waiting for those. And that left me, after everything was out, and I actually did forget $20 to my new camera fund. That was the one thing that I left off the list, but I'll make that up, no problem. Was $162.15. So after everything came out, So I took $100 and put that towards her teeth because I've been saving in another little sinking fund for her teeth. And I think I had about $300 or $400. That was like $380. I think I had been saving. Now, how I've been saving for her teeth is out of the child support. She's 18. She's aged out. She's no longer receiving child support, but my amount did not decrease over the years. So what I did was I'd make sure Jackson has what he needs. And then I will pull out for Alana $100 every time until I get enough to pay for her teeth, my part of it. And I know some people's like, well, she's not on child support. She's not. But the amount, again, like I said, didn't decrease. And she is saving her amount every week. She's like, Mom, I think I could put a little bit more. Like, she has a set amount she saves. But if there's any extra in her paycheck, she'll be like, Mom, I think I can put a few more dollars in here. So I'm like, that's beautiful. You know, go ahead and do that. But I couldn't let my 18-year-old take on that whole expense. That's the mom in me. And I think one of the reasons why I want to have something, one of the reasons why I grind hard and I go hard in these platforms is so that my children don't have to know what it's like without the support of a parent. Again, I'm not getting you out of problems that you caused in trauma and stress. I don't operate there. I'm not putting nothing on your books. So if you go to places where you need a book, don't call me. Call somebody who else gonna help you. But this was something she couldn't help. Her teeth are growing in crazy, right? And even with the insurance, it's still close to $2,000. So I'm going to do that bit for her. But because I don't carry debt, only my home, I have a little bit here and there to do for her. If I didn't have the child support, I would just get the next YouTube payment and I would just pull it here. Even if I needed to not sink my funds this month, I could have taken that whole $700 and put it towards her teeth and been okay not to sink the funds this one time, right? Because I've been sinking and sinking and sinking. But the Lord saw us through and he left $162 left after all the funds were sank. And so I put $100 in her teeth fund. Then we got a child support. I'm talking a lot. Lord help me. Okay, we got a child support. Our last child support for November was $136.48. So $14 of that went to tithe. Again, every dollar. 100 of that went to teeth. So that was another 100, which left $22.48. So I was like, okay, what do I do with the $22.48? 22 more dollars went to her teeth because that was the pressing issue at the time. Had I known I was going to go through this with ma'am, I might have would have saved it for that, but I didn't. So I actually, in those two transactions, put $222 in the sinking fund for her teeth, bringing, I think my total was like 386, somewhere in there. Then, once I did that, in came my Facebook. So as I noticed, and as I said in the beginning, my YouTube money was going down, 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 right? And I couldn't figure out why. I was like, okay, Lord, what's going on? Well, over on Facebook, because all I do are reels over there, the money was going up and up and up. And I was like, okay, but we didn't do so good 1 month. We didn't do so good 2 months in the whole year we've been up there. I think there was a glitch in their system 1 month that I did not catch. And then we just didn't do so well 1 month, and it was fine. And so what ended up happening was this time I got in my payout $1,143.14. Hey, ma'am, she's doing good. She's just resting. I think she's still on the medication. She has not come down yet, but she's not drinking. I'm kind of concerned. But I'm giving her time to get that medicine out of her system, right? She's just here at my feet. She ain't going anywhere. Long as mama, where I am, she am. So she's down here. So $1,143.14. So if you come over to Facebook and you're watching the reels, thank you so much. That just helps us out. I do post them here on YouTube as well. Next year, they talked about YouTube having access to monetization on Reels. We don't have that right now, so I don't count on that income. It's just the video, so I appreciate it. So $115 went to tithe. That left $1,028.14. So then again, going back to taking money out for taxes, again, I'm just at the 15% tax, what I set aside. I may have to readjust that. Another friend of mine, she was like, well, Shakema, think about 20%. So I can always increase it because I don't count on that money anyway. Tithe money I don't count on. Tax money I don't count on. I look at what's left. I just do those two things off the top, and whatever's left I deal with. Sharon, if you send me an email and I can help chat you through that a little bit. You just have to keep consistency. Consistency. Oh, you know what? That was actually on Facebook. I haven't been invited into the pay program on Instagram. I'm only on the program on Facebook. Instagram, I'm not the best either. So I do the best I can, but I have not made anything on Instagram. That's just on Facebook Reels. They invited me there last December and I said yes. And the kids and I have been doing those. So I made that on Facebook. So that left me with $1,028.14. $172. Yeah, I was like, oh, praise the, where did the Lord? Yes, Jesus. He did a whole thing for me. That blessed my spirit because, you know, it's hard out here in these social media streets doing the best you can. And I really didn't start doing videos for money. I started doing videos as a ministry. That's what God told me to do, and that's what I've been doing. Now he is blessing. He says, when you're faithful in the little, he'll make you Lord and ruler over the much. So when we were making that, my first $136 that I made on YouTube, I was so thankful for that money. I was so thankful. And now God has, over these many years, done so much for us. And I will not tell anybody else that it was anything I did. It was all Jesus. The Lord did it for me. 172 went to taxes, so that left $856.14. So $340. Where did I put that money? $340 was where I put for the rest of the money for her teeth. So however much money I had, that $360 rounded us out to exactly $800 in that teeth fund, which is what I needed for Alana, which I had planned like 8 weeks, $100. And I think I got that money in 3 weeks. When I tell you, just like Kathy said, the Lord is always on time. He's and never a penny short. It's the truth. Because I had planned to save it over 8 weeks. God did it in 3. He can do stuff in his own timing, which left us $300 left, which I put in my sinking fund. I put in my savings account, my 3 to 6 month sinking fund, which was the money that I actually took out for ma'am today. I didn't know I would need that $300 for her, but I used that $300 today for her visit at the vet. That left me $216.14, which I just took that $200 and I said, you know what, I'm going to go buy myself some stuff. And I think I went and bought food. I bought groceries. I didn't even buy anything for me, I don't think. I was going to go get my nails repainted and I didn't do that. So I just actually bought groceries. We put some extra gas in the car. Again, the Lord told me sow in season. So I think I sowed here and there a little few things. And I think I have a couple little dollars left in my purse. But every dollar had a job. Every dollar had a name. Every bill has been paid. There's nothing that hasn't been paid. And in 3 days, right, November 30th is payday. So here's how my brain thinks, and I'm going to get off of here because I've been talking way too long. Again, going back to the Lord. When you're faithful in the little, he makes you ruler over much. When we started out doing this YouTube journey, I was spending $25 a week to pay for my kids' groceries. Now I can spend more than that on groceries. I paid all the debt that we had, that I was left with when my ex-husband left me. He left the debt, and I said, my name is this, I'm paying it, right? My name was on it. Fine. I'm going to make good on that. Paid it. Sent my kids off to military, I'm still raising, and I still preach the same. Use what you have. Sow where you can. Give what you can. Put towards your debt, because I don't want my money telling me where it has to go. I want to tell my money where it needs to go. This week, if somebody has a need and I'm able to help them, I will. Now that don't mean that I just go around willy-nilly, right, with money. I have to hear from the Lord. I've had people mad at me before because they say, well, you're supposed to be a woman of God. Why won't you give me? Because God didn't tell me. You better have an ear to hear what thus saith the Lord. If God don't tell you to sow, don't sow there. Do not sow in ground that will not reap anything. So you better know people. You better know who they are and what God has said about them to you, right? So I'm very thankful for where God has taken me. So this past month, I want to share this last thing and then I'm done. For those of you who are trying to be on, like Sharon, you were talking about monetizing, right? Just keep after it, sis. You're going to get there. So normally when I go into a new campaign, I don't even have to apply anymore. They just roll me in. So I rolled in. Normally when I open it up on the first day, it says you have qualified for challenges. So if you make 10 reels that get, no, if you make 5 reels that get 100 plays, you get $20. If you make 10 reels that get 500 plays, you get $100. If you make 15 reels that get 10,000 plays, you get $1,000. Now, I've never gotten that at all, period. And I've never gotten it. I normally get that 120 though, right off the bat. But I didn't have challenges this time. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Hold on now, why is this not, wait. I'm supposed to have these challenges. They were not there this time. And I don't know why. So that $120 that I was missing because I didn't have challenges, this started off at 0 and I had to work my way. We've been 10 days in to the new challenge. When I went on YouTube, where my money had been going down, 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 now I saw for this past cycle that $120 seemed to be over here on YouTube some type of way. It just showed up from somewhere. I was like, well, Lord, that wasn't there before. And I know that when I looked at the analytics, I should have been lower this coming month than I was this last month. So God, right, he did it because he said, Shakema, don't you worry about that. Don't worry. He said, I got you. Don't worry, because it was stressing me out. Y'all, I'm over here trying to do something. I'm trying to leave a legacy for my children. Trying to teach them. When you do what God asks you, he blesses you. So that money seemed to some kind of way make itself over here. I was like, well, praise ye the Lord. Hallelujah. So I've been 10 days in to this new campaign. This is not bragging. Please don't hear that. But I'm telling you how good God is. With no challenges, which meant I couldn't work towards. I'm starting at $0 to see what the 30 days brings me. In the first 10 days, we've maxed what we made the last 30 days in 10 days. And I still have 20 days of this campaign left to go. If you don't know God in your finances, if you cannot give God rule over your finances, Shakema, you don't have extra money to give nobody. You doggone right I don't, but they're going to get this grocery money this week. Many, many weeks when I have not had anything except my grocery money. I have pulled that grocery money out of my wallet and given it to somebody. It wasn't a lot to some people. It was all I had, and I gave it. And God was like, you've been faithful in that. Let me see what you can do with this. I've been praying and praying and praying and praying to get that 3 to 6 months. Y'all know, y'all been watching. I've been at that same little number for how, who knows how long. Thank you so much, Amy. I've been praying. And God is about to do a new thing for me. He's about to do a thing that you can't say nobody else but God did it. 3.6 million plays, and we're only 10 days in. And the most plays we've ever had in a 30-day period was like 4 million. We on 3.6 million in 10 days. That's God. I'm going to be faithful with mine. I'm going to give what he says give. I'm going to give it to whomever. Like I said before, if God tells you to give and you release it, then they're responsible for whatever he does. They do with it. You're not responsible. I'm not responsible for what somebody does. Well, Shakema, they going to spend your money some type of way. That's between them and God. My giving it was between me and God. Now I've given it. Now he's responsible to take care of me. He's responsible to do some stuff over here in this household for me and my children. Those of you who've been with me forever, y'all already know what it is. Somebody got upset with me because I shop at Goodwill for my clothes. I look good in them Goodwill clothes. Why would I go and purposefully spend all this money on clothes, cost 3, 7, 8, 10 times what I'm spending? Now, if I need something that the Goodwill don't have, yes, I'll go buy it. But I'm trying to help people who were in my situation when I started. Girl, you can look good on a budget. Beauty on a budget. Just go on over there and look. This is what you look for. So, anyway, that's where we live in today. We're living in the overflow of God's goodness. I'm not living in the overflow of money. That's not even my thing. I'm living in the overflow of God's goodness. God ministers to my heart, and I'm so thankful for that. If we didn't have anything, we still have each other. My family is intact. My family's whole. My YouTube community is here to support me. My Titus 2 women group is growing every day. I'm so thankful for that. You all care about me. Y'all ask for me. Y'all send me emails and things that come in my P.O. box. That's a blessing. The blessing of the Lord make rich and add no sorrow. But I tell you in 23, he does not want you carrying all that you've been carrying. So if you have yet to get your mind right on this budget situation, listen. If you have not gotten your mind right on this budget situation, I'm praying for you that you would hear the voice of the Lord and that you would get it together in 23. Because where you're going, where God wants us to go, 23 and beyond, we can't be carrying all that stuff we've been carrying for years and years and years. Anywho, there it is, you guys. That was a lot. That was a lot, right? Take what you can. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. If it wasn't for you, it wasn't for you. That's perfectly fine, no problem. I just can't film these right now. And honestly, I don't know how many more of these I will film now that we're doing, you know what I'm saying? Got to get it together. It's just not with certain things. There just needs to be privacy. I'm not secretive. There are private things, and I've shared every single thing. I haven't made up a budget yet. I've given y'all the straight, right? So I almost didn't get this filmed. It's just not one of the things that I can fit into what I'm doing. I'm focusing in the kitchen. I'm focusing in the house. I'm focusing with the kids in the garden and all those, trying to be a little suburban homesteader over here. So that is what I am going to try to focus on. If I can fit this in, I will. You'll always get that monthly budget, that monthly first budget of the month. Always. I'm going to try to do it. But I don't know how much more I can do. I'm doing my best, right? And Jackson's going to help me start doing some editing. So that'll be helpful. But it's just, I'm a one-woman show over here. All the things. Anyway. Oh, okay. Okay. Come through, ma'am. Listen, y'all be missing some gems. Get out there. You just got to have an eye for it. You just got to keep, see it through. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you like the video, don't forget to thumb it up. Have a good week. As Miss Celeste said, what did she say? Have a good week on purpose. On that part, right? Love you, Kim. Love y'all. I'm going to see you guys later. Thank you, Kimmy, for joining in. My heart is full, and I don't want to cry on the TV thing. So, okay, I'm not. Okay, bye, y'all. Have a great week on purpose. That's right. Yeah, love all y'all. All the things. Okay, bye.